Today we'll be adding paint to our Paul Klee inspired name artworks. Before we get started, here's a few quick reminders about painting. Today we'll be painting with a round brush, and we're using water-based paints, so with whatever paint color you want to use first, you'll want to gently put a drop or two of water on that paint, and then holding your brush gently and carefully, swirl around the top part of the paint. Notice I'm not going into the hole because there's no paint down there. I want to go where there is paint, which is the top of the paint. If you think of the paint like a donut with a hole, I'm painting where the icing would be on the donut, not in the hole. Then I've got some paint on my brush. The really nice thing about these brushes is they can make wide lines or they can make small fine detail lines, both of which can help us in our artwork. In my artwork you can see I have some shapes that I finished coloring last week with our coloring technique and some shapes that are empty. Even if you still have some empty shapes or you weren't here last week and all of your shapes are empty, we'll be painting today regardless. So we're going to add color with paint today. We can always go back and add more crayon on top later. With my paintbrush and some paint, I want to hold it like a pencil, and I'm going to go all the way across my whole shape, even over top of the crayon, so that I can fill in all of these little parts. I think it makes a cool effect over the parts of the crayon that I pressed hard with last week and that I pressed lightly. Then I'll wash off my brush. I always want to wash my brush before I get a new color, and I'll paint another shape. When I'm painting, I want to do my best work and try to fill all of the white spaces. It's important that I am looking at my artwork so I can pay attention to what I'm doing. As you're painting, you might notice that the paint doesn't paint over the crayon. It doesn't mix. That's because one of the ingredients in crayon is wax, and wax and water don't mix. They do what we call resist. The wax in the crayon will repel the water. I think that makes a really interesting effect as we're painting that's fun to watch, but I still want to try to go all the way to the edges of my shape so it fills in the small areas of crayon that I didn't color the first time. When you think you're done, take a really close look at your picture. Did you paint inside all of the shapes? Inside the letters, outside the letters, next to the letters, around the letters? Take a look across your whole artwork and make sure there's not any spots that you missed. When you're done painting the whole artwork, you can listen for further directions.